Hey again, people. Oh, we got a good one here. I'm going to piss off all kind of people on this one. Grab your coffee, grab your hat, and hang on, because it's going to sound like I'm flip-flopping. It's going to sound like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but, you know, there's a lot of legal things in this video, and, of course, the media is showing one side. And I'm all for holding government accountable and what they should and shouldn't do. And all I can do is say hang around and pay attention, because I have a feeling you're going to make a conclusion, and then you may change your mind, and then you may change it back. So let's set this up here. Sparta, Tennessee. A pursuit goes in the sheriff's county, and the sheriff orders his guys to take him out by all means necessary, including deadly force. Evidently, he makes a comment that he doesn't want the cars hurt. Don't tear up my cars. So now people are upset, saying he cares more about his cars than the poor victim. And a reserve off-duty deputy got involved, and he ended up firing his gun. And then he started crying afterwards, and then the sheriff got caught on tape saying he's in the big boy club. And the sheriff made a lot of comments that may sound rough to somebody that's never been in a life or death or making serious decisions, but I don't have a big problem with what he said, and that's where everybody's going to be hating on me here. You're just as bad as he is. Well, whatever. I just know I've been there, and after a critical incident and things are excited and somebody dies, there's a lot of emotions, and different guys handle it different ways. And locker room talk and kind of talking tough and calling people names and just kind of, you know, insulting people and kind of being just, I don't know, if you want to call it manly men or whatever. And in this day and age, you know, nobody can handle that. Everybody's got to be wearing a pink shirt, crying and hugging each other. All right, so let's take a look at this video here.
His patrol cars?
Video obtained exclusively by News Channel 5 Investigates is raising new questions about a deadly shooting last year.
Investigative reporter Ben Hall has the body cam tapes that caught the sheriff's shocking admissions.
White County Sheriff Odie Shoup did not realize he was being recorded right after officers shot and killed a man. A deputy was holding a body camera neither knew was on. They put the camera in the back of a patrol car, and what it caught the sheriff saying raises new questions about what happened following a two-county police chase and is at the center of a federal lawsuit. The slow-speed chase started hours earlier in neighboring DeKalb County. Last April, Smithville police attempted to pull over Michael Dial for driving on a suspended license. He was driving a 1976 pickup, towing a fully loaded trailer.
Why didn't stop? He was scared. I know him enough to know that.
Robin Dial can't believe how things escalate.
Oh, he was scared. And he only had a suspended license. And I'm waiting for all the black people here. Oh, they just shot him earlier if he was black. Whatever. This ain't a color thing, people. I know the liberals love to make it, but this ain't a color thing. This is a use of force. This is a government power thing. And this is a situation created by a criminal. Don't forget that when you're listening to this news media about this slow speed chase and they shot him for no reason. Just hang around.
And that her husband is gone.
When I wake up every day and he's not there, it's like going through it all over again.
The chase never reached high speeds. DeKalb County deputies later told the TBI it was more like a funeral procession.
I want you to remember that. The news media just told everybody, all potential jurors and everybody jumping to conclusions, that this pursuit never reached high speeds. It was like a funeral procession. The poor guy just was scared and didn't want to stop. Please.
How fast do you think you got up to?
We might have got up to 50
Okay.
at one point. You know, for the most part, it was somewhere between 30, 40 miles an hour.
Woo, 30, 40 miles an hour. Woo, he's a big danger. Shoot him. The sheriff said, take him out. Use deadly force. Rick, that's just wrong. That sheriff is wrong. There's no reason for this, okay?
DeKalb deputies backed off at the county line, and White County took over. Their deputies tried to stop Dial using their patrol car.
73 out of service, 1708.
Reserve Deputy Adam West got involved, driving his personal pickup.
This is always a problem when you have, in small counties, when you have reserve units that need to help. I mean, this county probably only has maybe 2 or 3, and I'm just guessing. I'm just trying to give you a framework on how these works in smaller counties. They require their deputies. They're basically part-time officers, and they require them to get involved and to help when they need it out there. So this guy's in his POV, and he gets involved, and the sheriff knows he's involved, and he's okay with it. It looks like he's got a radio in his car, and he ends up getting involved in a shooting. Once he goes under the color of authority and he's acting under government powers, he's covered just as well as he's on duty. They're making it look like he just came out of nowhere and started shooting a guy, but they knew he was in a pursuit. They needed additional units. They only had a couple units. When you hear the sheriff talk later, he doesn't want his cars ruined because he only has a couple, and one of them's already getting fixed from another pursuit. So, and I think this guy might have banged up his personal car.
We're on edge, too.
Sheriff Odie Shoup was not involved in the chase, but he gave orders to the radio dispatcher authorizing deputies to shoot Dial.
59, take him out by any means necessary, including deadly force.
After that order, you see Deputy West take out his gun. They're on Highway 1.
Ooh, he took out his gun. Ooh, he got a gun.
11 with few cars in sight. Minutes later, deputies pushed Dial's truck off the road.
The deputies, the mean deputies pushed him off the road for no reason. It was like a funeral procession. He was just scared. He didn't even go fast. It was only 30 or 40 miles an hour.
West gets out of his truck and immediately opens fire.
Why did this guy shoot him for no reason? He just got out. He was off duty. Sheriff Reserve just came out there for no reason and shot this guy. Cop runs his gun dry, slide locks to the rear, and he does a reload on the run. Pretty good reload.
Officer Charlie Sims also started shooting. Dial was struck in the head. He was unarmed.
I feel with it.
He was unarmed. Wow. Just driving home in his funeral procession, unarmed, going slow speeds, and the mean police pulled out their gun and shot him for no reason.
Every part of me that's exactly what they wanted to do, was kill him.
But Dial's lawsuit focuses on what the sheriff said after the shooting to another deputy. On that,
what somebody says afterwards is no relevant on whether or not deadly force was authorized and whether it was used. It has no meaning. It has a lot to do with emotion. People are going to say it has to do with mindset. It has to do with all these other. Doesn't matter. The Supreme Court already said, if the deadly force is authorized, it's authorized. It doesn't matter the mindset or why. It's authorized. Was this authorized? Well, according to the news report here, no, it wasn't.
body camera they didn't know was on.
I told him, I said, take him out.
I heard.
Damn, I don't give a shit.
It wasn't long after that. I heard shots fired.
They said, we're ramming. I said, don't ram him, shoot him.
Dial is suing White County.
Okay, so those statements there is, for people that don't understand, sounds like this sheriff's just out wanting to kill people. But from somebody that understands, this sheriff just made a critical decision, and people who have never made decisions or never had to fight for their life or never been involved or had people try to kill them don't understand this. They run around in freaking lollipop land, eating their pink snow cones, thinking everything's fine and dandy. And then when they hear somebody talk like this, they're like, oh my God, he just wants to kill. Look, this conversation is after a critical incident. Someone died. This guy gave the order to die, and his officers just killed somebody, and he knows there's going to be fallout. He's worried about liability. They don't say this in the article, but he's got one officer in a hospital that was hurt and that's bleeding because of this incident. So this sheriff's under stress, and he's relieving stress by kind of just BSing and talking out with another cop. This sheriff was not out there wanting to go kill people in the middle of the day. Had the guy not ran from the cops, this wouldn't have happened. And that's where our country's just fallen off the cliff, is we stop holding people accountable for starting things in motion. And then when it turns out bad, we blame the people that had to deal with the illegal or violent acts of others. We don't blame the people that started the whole thing.
The sheriff, Deputy West, and Sparta Officer Sims, claiming they used excessive force. The lawsuit claims Shoup preferred to shoot and kill Mr. Dial rather than risk damaging his...
And that's a great lawyer statement. Oh, of course, that's why. He wants to get paid. He wants his lawyer's fees. I'm calling BS, and hopefully the people that finish watching this and that would hang around for the videos I'm about to play will change their mind and think it's BS too, but we'll see.
Patrol cars.
That ain't gonna turn my cars up. They don't think I'll give the damn water to kill that motherfucker. They full of
Okay, all these words, all this tough talk. Look, he's in fight. Even though he wasn't involved in the pursuit, he was trying to catch up. He knew his officers were hurt. He knew that somebody just died. He just authorized deadly force. He's experiencing fight or flight. You know, there's some post-traumatic stress after this. This is not... He wouldn't be talking like this if the guy didn't do anything. I mean, it sounds like I'm defending the sheriff, and I guess I am because nobody's going to take his side. But I'm telling you, this is just talk to me afterwards. This is tough, you know, patrol talk that you're just kind of releasing steam and blowing off stress. This has nothing to do with whether or not deadly force was authorized.
Take him out. I'm here on the damn end, wrong in the damn county.
Shoup seemed upset he wasn't there when the shooting happened.
I love this God. I tell you what.
Okay, so this statement, I love this shit, and I tell you, I thrive on it. Again, people that's never been a meat eater in fight or flight, that runs around with a gun when people are trying to kill you, that has to know that they have to take life, that has to defend themselves in deadly encounters, it becomes an adrenaline drug. And that's what people don't understand when people come back from combat, or cops get off duty and they have to blow off steam and drink, or they party hard because their job just, it's so stressful and damaging. And I'll put the anti-cops will be here, oh, you're just making out any flat foot could be a cop. Look, I'm telling you, when you deal with life or death and you work bad areas, and I mean, people that deal with this just once or twice a year is bad enough. But if you're working in some crap areas, mainly run by the Democrats, high minority, high illegal, high refugees who are here to become doctors, if you're working in those areas, then I guarantee you deal with this on a daily or every other day basis. It becomes a drug. And when you go to work, it's kind of like, okay, man, I got to get into it. I got to get my mindset. I got to be ready to survive. I got to get that little adrenaline pump. I need my fix, because if I'm not ready and I'm not on my A game, I may not come home tonight. This may be my last night at work. And people that don't do that just don't get it. So it's just irritating understanding that this is kind of macho BS, just man talk, kind of blowing off steam, and it's not necessarily the mindset of somebody that wants to go out there and kill people. But you can't tell a pink panty liberal running around with his safe signs saying the world is great and there's no crime zones and there's no murder zones and everything is safety and love, and it just doesn't work.
I don't know how you can thrive on taking a human life.
It's not what he said. He didn't say he was thriving on taking a human life. He said he thrived on the activity, the adrenaline pump, the go from 0 to 60, the being on your A game, to surviving at the end of the day and coming out on top and not being dead. That's what he was talking about. He didn't say anything about thriving on killing somebody. Nice try, Weasley lawyer.
That's not law enforcement.
Attorney David Weissman said there was no reason to shoot Mr. Dial, and Shoup's comments prove he was more concerned with his cars than Dial's life.
That's total BS. A comment doesn't prove anything. Okay, it may go about his state of mind or what he's talking or what he said or what he thinks. It has nothing to do with proof. That's just total BS.
If that's the mentality from the highest policymaker in the town, in the county, that's scary.
Okay, That's let me go back to Mr. Blue Tie. You can wear your little turquoise, purple, Syracuse, whatever color people want to call it, because it's fashionable, and sit in your little office with your little suit, and you don't carry a gun, and you don't ever have to face danger, and you don't have people trying to kill you, and you don't have to go to work every day putting on a bulletproof vest, wondering if this is going to be the day somebody's going to get you or you're going to miss something and somebody's going to kill you. You don't have to go to work like that every day and then have to deal with it. You get to sit in front of the media and tell everyone else how wrong they are in the comfort and the safety of your freaking little office. Freaking weasel attorneys, they make me sick.
Policy maker in the town, in the county, that's scary.
The TBI and district attorney ruled the shooting justified.
Okay, so the TBI, I'm assuming, is Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, and the district attorney obviously has to rule whether it was justified or not, and they ruled it was justified. So now, is it the sheriff's statements that are at issue, or was the use of force justified and the sheriff made statements after it was justified, and the district attorney agreed with him, and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation agreed with him, yet somehow the news media says it wasn't, the wife says it wasn't, and now there's a federal lawsuit, and the weaselly pink panty, purple, green tie wearing attorney said that the sheriff had a mindset that was just, oh my God, it's so scary. If that's the thing, that's scary. Whatever. I don't understand a meat eater or survival.
But immediately afterward, Deputy West was clearly upset. Sheriff Shoup told him he did exactly as he was ordered.
You don't have to worry about this. I made the decision.
Now, this may seem like the sheriff is being tough guy and glad that he killed somebody. He's not. He's consoling his deputy. He knows his deputy's in flight or flight. He's got some stress after a traumatic event, and he's trying to calm him down and say, look, dude, don't worry about it. Because the officer that's crying right now, that's upset, just killed somebody. He's worried about legality. He's happy that he made it through. He's happy he didn't die. He's happy that he didn't have to bury one of his other officers. He's happy that none of his other officers killed. So there's this conflict of emotion of happiness and sadness and fear and morally right and moral justification and legal justification and the court battle that's going to come and the weaselly green pink panty attorneys that are going to be coming after you afterwards. There's all these massive emotions hitting this cop after this traumatic incident. And again, people that don't deal with it or see it don't get it. So it's easy for them to sit back in the stands and criticize the players.
You don't have to worry about it. I took that away from y'all. You don't have to worry about nothing. Everything's cool. You done just exactly right.
He wouldn't hurt anybody.
Robin died.
Oh, he wouldn't hurt anybody. Of course not. He's driving through 2 counties, speeding on a suspended license, probably carrying drugs and or a gun. Doesn't matter. And everybody's saying he's unarmed. He's got a freaking 3,000-pound vehicle going 60 miles an hour through red lights, dodging in and out of traffic. A wheel off his trailer fell off. He's pulling a load, which increases his vehicle weight, which increases his danger to the public. If he'd have hit a family and killed another mother's kid, she'd be holding her dead baby, her 2-year-old daughter in her hands crying, and then who would we blame? Would we blame the cops for chasing him? Would we blame the refugee program because he was just trying to bring things to the homeless shelter to feed the poor refugees? I mean, it's just ridiculous on how people lose sight and can't keep their eye on a ball.
Kyle will never believe her husband needed to die.
They could have let him 10 more miles down the road. He probably would have run out of gas.
Oh, yeah, of course. If they just let him go 10 more miles, he would have ran out of gas. Not only is she upset about her husband, she's now a freaking fortune teller who's going to say nobody's going to get hurt or killed because this guy's driving like a freaking maniac through 2 counties, ramming patrol cars, not yielding, dumping trash all over the road that could fly into people, running red lights, and using his 3, 4, 5,000 pound vehicle that he's driving and that he's in control of. No, he wouldn't have hurt anybody. He would have just ran out of gas, Rick. That's all we need to do is just let people do what they need to do till they run out of gas. Unstinking believable.
I just hope he knows I loved him.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
The DA is standing by his ruling the shooting was justified, but admits he had not heard the sheriff's comments when he made that ruling.
Okay, does that matter? Legality-wise, the district attorney already ruled the shooting justified. He said it was within the law. Then he reaffirmed that, you know what, I still stand by my ruling. It was justified force. However, I didn't hear the sheriff's comments before. So the news media just made it seem like that the district attorney would have changed his mind had he heard the sheriff's comments. And that's not what happened. The sheriff said, even after he heard the comments, deadly force was authorized. The comments afterwards does not change the fact that deadly force was authorized. That's the point of this. That's what the lawsuit's trying to say is, oh no, it wasn't justified because of what the sheriff said afterwards. That's absolutely ridiculous. It's a BS argument. It's going to tie up the courts, and the county's going to pay out money.
The sheriff has declared.
Let me rephrase that. The county's not going to pay out money. The stupid taxpayers who support liberal agenda and liberal lying left media fake news, they're the ones that's going to pay. And then they're going to complain when their property taxes go up, and they're going to complain when they pay all these taxes and school taxes, and when their kids don't have proper materials at school and they're paying all these taxes and they're told, you got to bring pencils to school and you got to bring paper to school and you got to sell cookies and we need more money and our teachers aren't getting paid enough and we need to raise taxes to pay our teachers. They're not going to remember all that and connect the dots because we have a freaking dumbed down society because we've been letting the liberals run the colleges and education program for the last 50 years.
Declined to comment.
But I digress. We're going to listen to a little bit of the footage about what happened after the scene and what the sheriff said to this other deputy, and he's kind of cracking on him, and he tells him he's tired of his insubordination. He's gonna, because both deputies are kind of relieving stress by cracking each other, and the deputy says, "Hey, did you walk down here? Where's your car?" And he's like, "You know what? Don't give me," because probably the sheriff's out of breath. He's still stressed. He's breathing hard. He's got a lot on his mind, so they're releasing stress. This isn't making the whole thing a joke. This is called black humor or humor under stressful conditions.
Yeah, that's why I get back down here.
What, you walk down here?
Hey, Chief, I'll be right back.
You walk down here?
Huh?
You walk down here?
Keep it up, Ford. I've about had enough of yours insubordination today.
Walk back.
Walk back.
Now you can tell the sheriff is walking with purpose. He's in a hurry. He's still stressed. He's on scene. He's arriving on scene. The other guy that's cracking on him, I don't know if it's a deputy or a highway patrolman, but look, this is just cops giving each other, razzing each other. This has nothing to do with whether or not deadly force is authorized. And hang around, because this video is going to be long because there's a lot of video footage. I'm going to show you later on in the video the actual pursuit and show you how many people this idiot put in danger and how this so-called funeral procession fun ride waiting for him to run out of gas is just total BS. And then hopefully you will see that no matter what the sheriff said afterwards, deadly force was authorized. Now, did the guy need to die? I'm not sure the guy needed to die. But did he need to be stopped? Absolutely. Did he cause it? Absolutely. Did he put lives in danger? Yes. Was he armed? Unlike the media said he was unarmed? Hell yeah, he was armed. He had his car driving around like a maniac, taking over the roads, and had a bunch of cops chasing him. He was endangering public and lives. So hang around if you want to change your mind, or you can just run off and go, that sheriff's a racist, hates people, wants to kill, what? Whatever. Pay attention, you might learn something.
That's a good way to leave your gun in here, too, Ford. Unlocked.
It's locked.
It wasn't done it.
It wasn't done it.
Wasn't
I just
done
unlocked it.
Didn't do it.
I didn't do it. You certainly did.
You keep it up. You keep it up. I'm going to put you on visibility. I told him, I said, take him out.
I heard.
Damn, I don't give a shit.
It wasn't long after that. I heard shots fired, shots fired.
They said, we'll ram him. I said, don't ram him, shoot him. Fuck that shit. I ain't gonna tear my cars up. But I got 2 cars tore up again.
Now, this sounds like the sheriff is being mean because he said shoot him with the big bad mean gun and the fast traveling bullets that's going to hurt somebody. What you don't understand is ramming that car and trying to flip his car is considered deadly force. You're doing actions that are likely to cause seriously bodily injury and or death, and that can kill somebody. You can't start ramming people and run them off the road unless deadly force is authorized. And the Supreme Court ruled that once deadly force is authorized, you can use deadly force. There's no requirement to use less. So the news media and everybody uneducated are thinking, well, if they're ramming this guy off the road, that would have been better had they flipped the car into another family and kill another family and maybe kill the guy when he flips out of the car and bangs his head on the concrete because he wasn't wearing his pink helmet because he's driving like a freaking idiot. No. That would have been nicer, Rick. But to pull out the mean gun and to fire the mean fast bullet, no, that's totally unacceptable. It's the same thing. People are just getting caught up on the words and the terminology because these two cops are cracking on each other, and you can hear them laughing. You hear the other cop laughing. The sheriff is blowing off steam saying, hey, I made a decision. I stand by. He's convincing himself he did the right thing. He's dealing with somebody died because of his order, and he's dealing with it. It's not like everybody's trying to make this out to be.
65 cents. Hey, Chris. Okay. Okay, there's 3 of them. There's Charlie Sims, and the chief will have to set that up, but 2 of our guys. Okay. Okay, I'll be back here in just a few minutes. John's running me home, so we've got... No, just go ahead and go home. I'm going to relieve all the detectives going home here shortly, except John Ford. He's on call. And you on call? Okay, Lindale's on call, so just tell him to stick around. And I'll send Ford. He wants to go home. He forgot his teeth. He forgot his damn teeth, and he's scared somebody's going to see him.
They're still cracking on each other. That's release of stress, people. The sheriff isn't mad at him because he forgot his teeth. He's not cracking on him because he got his teeth knocked out on a call on a fight. He's just picking at him and relieving stress. It's a stressful situation.
I tell you, why you can't help a wussy? All right, go ahead. You walk home. But anyway, I'll be back here in just about 5-10 minutes.
Central Shoal, myself 59, can actually see there. Pick up 59.
Hey, I'm en route to get my car there. I'll be up there in about 5-6 minutes. Would you fix me a cooler with some Cokes and ice water, or some jugs of water? Okay, I'm just now, John bring me up there, but it was Jason Lynn Kirby. He is dead, and Adam did kill him. Yeah, the old boy lives there in that trailer. That old boy right there lives right across the road, that I whooped. And me and John and them had that trouble at the jail. That's him.
Now they're trying to make, because they got in a fight with this guy before, that the sheriff had some sort of personal vendetta to kill this guy. And that has nothing to do with it. They fought with this guy before. It's very common for cops to deal with the same criminals every day. I mean, I've arrested some guys 5-6 times, and it's the same guy. And you deal with him and you see him. And, I've had guys run from me 5 or 6 times, the same guy. So when you're dealing in areas with the same people, you deal with the same criminals. So this guy's obviously fought with the cops before. He's on crank. He's got a criminal history. He's got some felonies. He's been in prison. He's been on probation. And the news media is making it look like, oh, his poor wife's upset because he was driving home just slow and he would have ran out of gas. Yeah, okay.
Well, he's tore our cars all to hell. He tried to kill him. I'm telling you, you'll see the city car. He's right up on the back window with that truck. Yep.
That statement's going to help him. He's saying he tried to kill my deputies. He's got a deputy that's injured in this pursuit in the hospital right now. So that is going to help. That's why the DA and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation both said deadly force was authorized. This guy was a danger. He was going to kill or hurt somebody. He actually did hurt a deputy. Deadly force was authorized. Keep your eye on the ball when you get in these cases, and don't listen to the media and get caught up in inflammatory words or statements afterwards that just makes for good TV.
Yeah, well, right now, we don't know if Charlie shot him or if Adam, but it looks like Adam shot him. But Adams took it hard. He talks that big shit. Now he's in the big league.
Look, this sheriff's just an old-time kind of hard-ass guy. I don't have a problem with that statement. You notice when the guy was crying, the deputy that was crying after he shot him, he didn't have that attitude. He said, don't worry about it. I support you. I made the decision. It's on me. And now when he's alone, he's like, God, you know what? If he wants to play in the big leagues, he's in a big boy now. He's crying, taking heart. So he's being macho because that's what he kind of believes he has to be. And, you know, is it right that maybe he's talking smack about the guy? Maybe not. Maybe it's not the most professional thing, but I don't think it's done in malice. I thought when he was on scene with the guy, he consoled him, told him not to worry about, took responsibility, and tried to relieve the guy's stress. I think that was a good move. What he really thought is, hey, dude, you want to be a cop, you want to carry a gun, you want to get out here and shoot people. Now you shoot somebody, deal with it. Man up. Take your pink panties off and put your big boy pants on and move on. So, you know, he's kind of being a tough guy, but I don't see any maliciousness, meanness. He doesn't know he's being recorded. He's just, again, he's relieving stress also.
You know, if he can't take it, he needs to get out. But anyway, we'll be right there in just a few minutes. Just have it for me, okay? Love you. Bye.
If he can't take it and needs to get out, that's a little insensitive or you know, it used to be, we used to think battle fatigue, a soldier crying, you know, they called him a wimp. There's that big scene in the Patton movie where Patton slaps a guy in a hospital who's dealing with stress and he's just scared to go out there and he's killed so many people that he just can't deal with it. He's overwhelmed. And Patton slaps him and says, man up, get out of here, you're in my army. And everybody cheered and like, that's the way you handle it. And the more we find out about the body and the human function and the chemical reactions and the testosterone and the drive and the adrenaline and all the things that happen with post-traumatic stress, people deal with things differently, and constant running in that high state of alertness causes issues mentally, physically, psychologically. It wears on you. And the more we learn that the old macho just suck it up isn't necessarily the best way, and it doesn't work for everybody. It may work for some, and some people may get over it, but it doesn't work for everybody. So we got veterans killing themselves one every 6 minutes or something. I mean, 21 veterans a day are killing themselves. We can't get our veterans health care, and the idiots are running around protesting saying, oh, yeah, our vets just want to go over there and kill people. They don't want to kill people. They're doing their duty, they're doing their job, and then they have to deal with it afterwards, and people don't get it.
Well, I mean, from what Charlie was saying, he said he fired a couple of 3 rounds, and the last round he fired, he said Irvin was do that.
That's good. That's all right. I hope so.
I've got the volume turned up as high as it goes, so if you can't hear it, you can't.
Oh, I was fixing the low share. I got to get in my teeth. I'm so self-conscious about that, dude.
Ooh, listen to the mean police laughing after they killed somebody. Oh, that's just horrible.
Well, you sitting down? Well, you know them units that we had fixed and the other wrecks, well, we're going to have to fix them again. Well, I had a guy.
I can't remember if this is the video because I got a couple other.
County running from the County Police for theft of property. They come up here. He run over the back of it, right up on top of it. Lanny come up beside of him, tried to get ahead of him. He took a trailer and put it in the side of Lanny, tore Lanny's car all to hell. Then he hit 86 car. I don't know how bad it is hurt, but Brandon's hurt. He's in the hospital. He's at the hospital. One guy's dead. Jason Kirby is dead. That's the perpetrator.
So this is actually helping him because he's saying the car tried to ram his deputy, he rammed the trailer into him, and now he's got a deputy hurt in the hospital. The news media didn't report all that. Remember, when you watch the news media, he was just driving slow and he would have ran out of gas and his wife was crying and he was unarmed and he was just a good kid going home to a funeral procession. Remember that? Well, we find out more with more information that that's not exactly true. Imagine that. The fake media put out something that wasn't true.
Yep. I don't know if one of my officers shot him or the city shot him. The TBI's on the scene up here on 111, but I'm going to go to my unit right now and get my badge and gun, go back. THP's involved, we're involved, the highway, the city of Sparta's involved, TBI's involved. DA's office is involved, but the DA's office and the TBI's took over the scene, so we're out of it.
Okay, if you're wondering how all these videos got discovered, that's how. When the state came in, TBI came in, and you had outside agencies, when they take over scenes like this, they collect all the evidence. So they grabbed all footage and everything to do their investigation, and then they found out that a camera was left on and they heard all this conversation. Does that change whether deadly force was authorized? No, it doesn't. That's the key that people need to remember. Either it's authorized or it's not.
Well, that's about all it is right now. I'm worried about Brandon right now if he's all right. He was bleeding from the mouth. I don't know if he bit his tongue or if he's hurt internally. But we got plenty of video, and I gave the order to take him out because he was going to kill somebody if we hadn't.
That's a good statement. He's worried about his deputy, which proves that he's still in a stressful situation. And he gave the order to take him out, and there's a guy dead. TBI's investigating. He's out of it. The DA's involved. There is a lot of stress on this sheriff. He's maybe acting like tough guy. I don't care. I gave the decision. It's my county. But I'm telling you, he's worried about the fallout. He's worried about morally, did this guy, actually he seems pretty confident in that giving the order to kill this guy was okay. And after watching all the footage, I'm okay with it too. I'm not sure I agree 100% on everything, but deadly force is definitely authorized, and this guy needed to be stopped. Now somebody's going to say, he just had to suspend a license. That's not why people run. They say that afterwards, but that's never the reason. It's usually because they're carrying dope, they're carrying a gun, they throw it out in a pursuit, they're trying to get rid of it. We don't know if he committed a crime before. We know he's running, we know he's endangering lives, we know he's driving like a maniac, we know he's ramming police cars, we know he hurt an officer, we know he went through multiple red lights and endangered people through 2 counties. That's what we know. You can't go on what if and buts and coconuts. Oh, he was just going to run out of gas. If you'd have just followed him, you idiots.
And so I'm telling you, are seeing that this is a hell of a pursuit. He meant to kill some people. This boy's been in jail, been in prison, he's on meth, he's on everything you think of.
Been in prison, been on meth. Gee, that's a shocker. I would never think somebody using meth out there committing crimes. Let's see. I wonder if the guy has a job. His wife's crying. I wonder what his job was if he was on meth running around in prison. How do people keep jobs when they're doing meth and on prison? Their job is to go out and steal and rob from other people. Their job is to do other criminal activity in order to finance their drug activity. Oh, Rick, you can't. Not all drug users are bad. They're, you idiots.
Yeah, I have 70. Yep. I'm telling you, all the way up here to Burgess Falls, and they put his shoes away right there. I will. Yeah, but I told him to go to the hospital and be checked out. He didn't want to go, but he was bleeding. I don't know how bad he's hurt. And when I seen that blood, I definitely want him taken care of. But anyway, sir, I just want to let you know that I hate it, but it's just, that's what we do.
Hear that? I hate it, but that's what we do. The media isn't playing that part of the video. They're not saying that the sheriff was stressed and obviously regretted taking a life. They're saying the purple collar, turquoise wearing lawyer is saying, oh, that's the high sheriff. He's happy to be, he seeks this out. He's in the thrill of it. Do you see how opinions change when you get more information? There's always information we don't know when we make conclusions about things we see in the media. And hopefully this channel is educating people to, you know what, there's probably more facts that we don't know than we know, and we're only getting one side, and the side we're getting is always the liberal left media with their agenda.
That's it. All right, the buck stops with us. See you, bud. Let me tell you something, God. If they don't think I'll give the damn water to kill that motherfucker, they full of shit. Take him out. I'm here on the damn end, wrong end of the damn county out here. Use deadly force.
Now, 2 seconds ago, he was saying he didn't like to do this, but it's what we do. And then as soon as he gets off the phone and he's alone with another officer and they're releasing stress because they know they understand each other because they both face these dangers, he turns into, shit, if you don't think I'll give the order to kill, you're crazy. And people are trying to make that out that, you know, they're picking and choosing what side do they want to like about this guy or dislike. They don't want to say that the guy's sorry he had to kill somebody. We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about he's worried about his deputy that got hurt and he sent him to the hospital even though the deputy didn't want to go. We don't want to worry about that. We want to only focus on the part that we like to push, which is this mean cop just wanted to kill people to save his cars. Man, the dishonesty and just how can anybody believe what they hear in the media anymore?
Shit.
I heard, like I say, I was fixing to mow my radio. I hadn't turned it off, and I got to listen to it, and I thought, well, there's one across the highway there, but wouldn't let me know who that is.
There's about a minute and a half left on what he's talking about. I can't remember what he said.
Yeah, I was using Stale's car, and when we go through the meter, it was about 90.
Oh, so Stale drop you off?
Yeah, well, I got out and let her go on home. That's why I got to get my car. I love this shit, God. I tell you what, I thrive on it.
That's 3 pursuits.
Again, he loves this and he thrives on it. He's releasing stress. He got an adrenaline high. He's a survivor. He's happy. I mean, you know, you talk to people in critical incidents, and after they survive, even if they were raped, beat up, held at gunpoint, stabbed, there's a sense of happiness at the end because they made it. They lived through it. This guy's not experienced it personally because he wasn't the guy that shot him, but he's living it through his officers, and he made that critical decision. Just because you're not involved, but you're making that decision, there's still a lot of stress involved in that. And I know it's going to sound like I'm defending this guy, and I'm not necessarily defending him. I'm defending the comments and the mindset and the emotional reactions that people have in critical incidents.
That's 3 pursuits we've had.
I'm telling you. But he was going to kill somebody. Now, he meant to take Lanny Plum out.
He run over the back of the truck that's in his car, too.
Did you see anything like that? I've never seen him go up on the back of a car like that. I hope Charlie did get him. Don't bother me.
Yeah, I mean, that's just Charlie. He thinks.
Okay, so let's take a look at the pursuit, I think, here. What's the next video? Okay, you remember where the news media played the part to where the guy said, I made this decision, you did good? They didn't play the whole video. Imagine that. Notice how the sheriff takes concern on his deputy and tells him to call his wife and reassures him. this tells me the sheriff is not the bad guy they're trying to make him out to be, and he cares about his deputies, and he's taking responsibility, and maybe he's buried a couple deputies, and maybe he's had a couple people shot on his watch, and he doesn't want to take that chance again. You don't know what this guy's background is, but I can tell by the way he's treating his deputy right here in this little 1-minute clip that he cares about his troops, and that's probably why they'll go through fire for him.
You call your wife, tell them you're all right. You don't have to worry about this. I made the decision. You don't have to worry about it. I took that away from y'all. You don't have to worry about nothing. Everything's cool. You done just exactly right. Hey. Hey, God.
You done the right
I
thing. I told you that.
I love it.
I told you done the right thing.
I tell you. I'm glad. Hey, you done the right thing. You kept somebody from getting killed. This fool was crazy. Call your wife first. Tell her everything good. I made that decision. You don't have to worry about nothing.
You got your phone with you? Are you? You don't have to be scared, brother. I know it's natural, but you don't have to.
It's natural. Hang in there. You tough? I know you didn't want to do it. Did you see what he did? Hey, that's all right. Hey, we're good. Don't worry.
He is doing a good job at making this officer not be overwhelmed with the amount of emotion and stress and worry that he's going through right now. Is he going to lose his job? Is he going to go to jail? Is the DA going to find it unjustified? Is he going to... I mean, the amount of stress on this guy is doing the right thing, and everybody's making him out to be this crazy sheriff, the left-wing media, you know, but whatever. I mean, hopefully you'll change your opinion. If not, I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. If you think I'm full of crap and all this is wrong, well, that's okay, too.
About it. I'll take care of that. And, I ain't worried about this at all. You just hang in there and call your wife, okay?
Yeah.
Can I get my phone?
Yeah.
Now, the sheriff put on a good front that I ain't worried about this at all. That's not true. He is worried about it. I can tell in his voice. I can tell by his things. I can tell how he's reassuring in his jokes. I can tell how he's talking to different people, how he goes from being sad and sorry, how he goes to joking and laughing, trying to cover the amount of emotions that he's going through. So the sheriff is just putting on his tough guy hat and saying, you know what, I ain't worried about this, to make this guy feel good. He's putting the feelings of his troops in front of his, which, again, tells me he's not the guy they're trying to make it out about. I think the next one is the pursuit here. Okay, so this is a 2-minute part of the pursuit from one car, and then we're going to see it from another car. Remember, if they just followed him, he just ran out of gas, and he's a good kid, and, you know, he was just scared, sure.
He slows down. He just hit him on the side. 53's out of service, 1708. Century's hit him again. 1708. Still heading northbound.
10-4.
59. Take him out by any means necessary, including deadly force. 29. Per 59. Use deadly force if necessary. Take this subject out by any means necessary. Central Bed Live, I'm fixing the ring in here. 86, what's your 40?
Want you to notice this guy driving. He's got a gun in one hand. He's got a microphone in the other hand. He's steering. He's getting directions that he can use deadly force. He's trying to not get himself killed. He's trying to follow a guy. He's trying to call in what's going on. And, you know, people tell you, oh, anybody can be a cop. You just sit out there and, you know, eat donuts. Okay.
Coming up on Burgess Falls.
73 section, cars 57 here on Lincoln. Cars 57 here at Spring Street. Include unit EMS. Yeah, 1050, I'm code 4, go ahead, took care of everything else there. I'm code 4. I'll get in contact with Lieutenant Gratchford.
We're losing debris.
County is per 59, do not land this.
Can't see if he pulled the slide back or used the slide release. I was watching, but it was out of view.
Get on the ground!
Okay, so let's take a look at another view here from a different angle of this pursuit. Gee, 3 cops, guy just ran, pulling a traitor, went through a busy intersection. All these people are pulling over, possibly have an accident, heart attack, run into another car. No. He was unarmed, Rick. He's just driving in a funeral. It was a slow pursuit, and he was just scared, and he would have ran out of gas. See the tire on the road? He lost a tire. He's been driving a car so fast through 2 counties that his tires are falling off. And we should just wait for him to run out of gas because his wife is, knows what would have happened. He would have just pulled over and nobody would have been hurt.
I'm going to be initiating pursuit this time. I believe this trailer has lost the wheel. Check 47206.
City officer, see if you can slow down a little bit.
Rick, maybe he didn't know they were trying to pull him over, and he was just, because there'll be some bleeding heart liberal out there trying to make excuse for this guy. He didn't know, Rick. He thought the officer was trying to get a banana peel out of the highway, and he was going to go around him. He wasn't trying to hurt the officer. He wasn't trying to ram the officer off the road. He wasn't endangering everyone else on the road. No, Rick. He was unarmed, and, he would have just ran out of gas.
73, got back out on the highway yet?
And boys fixing to ram the city officer here. We've got him boxed in.
Trying to switch the other direction you're headed.
He's hitting 111, guys. He's got the city officer here on the side.
Out of the patrol car out there.
Yeah, he didn't know. He was just, Rick, just let him run out of gas. It was a funeral procession. He was going so slow, according to the media. There was no danger at all to any officer, and he was just a nice guy going home.
It's slide. He's in the median. I'll check on him. Y'all still know what's down? I'm gonna get back down here, Burgess Falls, and get the strips out there for you.
Oh yeah, it's fishtailing. Things are flying off. He's driving on the median, driving on the wrong side. I mean, Rick, we should just let him run out. Are you kidding me? And for the people that are like, well, he was scared. You know what? Committing crimes and then being scared does not justify you to put officers and the public in danger because you're driving like a freaking maniac. I know in liberal lollipop land, being scared would justify all this, and it's always the big police fault. But you know what? In real land, until you get wiped out by one of these idiots and you watch somebody in your family die or you're in a wheelchair for the rest of your life, then you'll get it. Or until you've seen people pull out of cars and you've watched people die on the street because of idiots like this, then maybe you'll get that following this guy till he runs out of gas may not be the best option.
This trailer, watch out.
Central, one officer got hit. I'm gonna go check on him.
Yeah, keep the radio free. Central, be advised. Lanny's car's down. He just hit him here on the side.
73's out of service, 1708.
Central, he's hit him again.
Just a little funeral procession. Remember what the media told us? Yeah. And remember what the idiots will say? Well, Ricky just had a suspended license. Yeah. People that don't want to get a ticket drive like this all the time. You believe that? This guy didn't want to get a ticket. That's why he's doing all this. Are you kidding me? He was facing another felony. He had drugs probably in his system. He probably had drugs or pipes in the car that he just used. He probably had a weapon in the car. All these things are why people run. People don't drive like this to get out a ticket. If you do, you're a freaking idiot. Yeah, this truck and this trailer throwing stuff on a highway and tires flying off and running into these police cars and failing to stop and trying to get around them. Oh, yeah, Rick, he's not armed. He was a poor, unarmed man. He couldn't have hurt anybody. He was just going to doctor school, and suddenly the cops killed him for no reason, and now his wife's crying on the news. Really?
10-4, get a hold of 59 Central, see if we can do something to get this maniac off here.
This area including deadly force.
10-9.
Okay, let's have a dummy test. Who thinks the guy driving this truck, if the cops stopped trying to stop him, would not run through the next red light and take out a family in a car? Who thinks he would, be responsible and say, I don't want to hurt anybody, so I'm not going to run, and if the cops just stop following me, I'll just drive till I run out of gas? Who believes that? Put your hand up. Okay, you're a freaking idiot if you got your hand up.
Code 59, use deadly force if necessary. Take this subject out by any means necessary.
10-4, Central, be advised, I'm fixing to ram him here.
86, what's your point?
Coming up on Burgess Falls.
Coming up on Burgess Falls.
Everybody see this nice, slow funeral procession? He was just driving at slow speeds, and, they shot him. Remember, like the news media said? Does everybody see this nice funeral procession? Slow speed, nobody's in danger? Whatever.
Central cars 10-7 here on Michigan. Cars 10-7 here at Spring Street. Confirmed you need EMS. 10-50, I'm pulled forward. Go ahead and take care of everything else there. I'm pulled forward. I'll get in contact with County Grashford. We're losing debris. County is. Code 59, do not ram this subject. If you need to, get up and use your shotgun and end this pursuit.
Now, when you heard the shots fired there, you notice he's still driving off. Had he not been hit by those bullets, he would have got back on the highway. And since liberals love to predict the future, like if we'd have just let him drive off, he would have ran out of gas. Let's predict another future. If he'd have got away, he'd have plowed into an innocent family up here and killed 3 or 4 people or put them in a wheelchair for the rest of their life. Their whole lives would have been ruined because the cops didn't shoot and let him drive away because they were hoping he'd just run out of gas. Are you freaking kidding me? Look, I'm okay with this shooting. I'm not sure I would have shot. I probably would have kept ramming him. I'd have pushed him in the trees. But, again, a deadly force was authorized. This guy caused it. He was a danger. He was an obvious danger. He hurt an officer already. An officer was hurt chasing him. He was armed with a 1,000-pound vehicle capable of going 70, 80, 90, 100 miles an hour. He was a threat to the public. He caused it, not the officers that chased him through 2 counties. In my opinion, this is a good shoot. I don't care what the sheriff said afterwards. All right? That's my take. Everybody can have their own. You can argue it out in the comments. We'll end that there. Hopefully you got something out of it.